Hello everybody, welcome back to Hard Enduro Media. Last weekend we saw round 2 of the British Extreme Enduro Championship at Cowm Quarry in Rochdale. And the top 3 riders there in the main event were Jonny Walker, Travis Teasdale, who's with me now, and Jonathan Richardson. An absolutely fantastic event. The only thing that laid it down was the weather, as per normal at Cowm Quarry during the winter, but other than that it was an absolutely great event. And Travis, now a second place yesterday, you must be really happy with that.
Yeah, I had a really good ride yesterday. Actually really enjoyed the track. It was a bit cold, but once I was warm, the past few weeks I've been trying to train really hard, trying to get into a flow and get to where I want to be. And yeah, yesterday proved it that my training's paying off. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the rounds coming ahead. And yeah, after yesterday, I had a good performance. I actually led a bit yesterday and was dicing quite a bit with the other guys. So yeah, it was a good day.
Now, between the last round at Tong and yesterday at Cowm Quarry, you've been doing a lot of riding in South Africa. Dusty conditions there, very dry, and we've got some video footage from the GoPro that I lent you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we've been riding in quite dusty conditions in South Africa, but on my hometown, it's actually been raining quite a bit. So the Hilton forests are really slippery, which is good training. So I take the opportunity when it's raining to go ride and go scrum out in the hills. Got a nice riding group there too to ride with, so the boys are training really hard. And yeah, so it's just obviously the conditions aren't the same in South Africa as here, but when we get the opportunity to go ride in the wet, I definitely take it with both hands and go to get some training done.
So when you arrived at Cowm Quarry yesterday, what was your initial impressions of the venue?
Yeah, it was a bit different. It was a big quarry. Reminded me a few of the section of Erzberg a bit, especially that one hill climb was quite tricky and that. But other than that, I thought it would have been quite more slippery than it actually was. There was actually quite a bit of traction, but as obviously the laps went, it got more and more muddy and more ruts and that, but it got quite rough. But other than that, look, the weather was cold. The guys say Cowm Quarry is always a cold event, but I put that aside and just said it is what it is and went out there and did my best.
From the start, Jonny Walker was leading initially. I think there was about 30 seconds between you and Jonny as you came into the first rock garden.
Off the start, I had a terrible start. I was like nearly last, but then I pushed as hard as I can to try to pass as many riders in half the lap to, obviously because of the roost and stuff.
I think it was about 45 minutes into the race, things started to really hot up because you and Paul Bolton were starting to have a battle there. And we've got a quick clip now of where you were on the hill climb, and this is where Paul passed you. Just have a look at this. We've just got you coming down now the hill, as you can see. You've now on that climb. Just talk me through this.
Yeah, so we came down quite a steep hill climb into like the bowl, and then we had to turn left up quite a steep hill climb where the bottom was very slippery, and not even 5 meters when we started the hill climb, there was a little rock section where it really put you off the bike and lost a lot of traction. So trying to gain speed up the hill from nearly from zero speed was quite hard. So I made one or two mistakes in the hill climb there, but I also found out every other rider was losing a few seconds their lap. But every lap I tried to minimize my mistakes to get up the hill, and once I knew I got up the hill, could save a few seconds on the lap.
And I think at that point, when Bolts passed you, at one stage there was about, I think, 30 seconds between you two, and I've got you a little bit of a clip where you actually come past and I'm shouting out. I think that's time you'd closed it down to about 20 seconds. So yeah, on this clip here, you're just cutting across the top of the quarry back into the bottom towards the rock gardens, and this is where you are trying to gain some time up on Paul Bolton, who's leading the race at the moment.
Yeah, look, Paul was very smooth in like the rock gardens yesterday, where I lose a bit of time there. But on the other section, I pulled some time back, and once Bolton passed me, I thought it was over, but I pushed as hard as I can and knew that there is places on the track where you can make mistakes and where I can make a bit of time. I really enjoyed the back forest section and more of the speed section down the back where it opened up to catch a bit of time and make a bit of time up. But yeah, it was just being smooth every lap to try at least keep the gap the same, or maybe make 5 or 10 seconds up here and there.
Yeah. So as the race progressed, I think we were about then an hour and a half into the race, and we've got a clip here where Paul Bolton's coming through into a little bit of a rocky section up a climb, and you're about 4 seconds behind him now, heading out onto the moor. Just tell us what happened from there on.
I think Paul had quite a bit crash down the fast section at the back, and then I managed to pass him and hold. I think I was in the lead for a while, and pushed it hard as I can. But Jonny was really smooth around the track yesterday, especially in the really slippery sections. He was making up a lot of time, but yeah, about an hour and a half into the race, obviously you start feeling a bit tired. You're working hard, and the racing was very close yesterday with Jonathan Richardson, Paul, and Jonny. So yeah, we pushed really hard to try to keep the gap the same or try to pull a gap during the day.
Yeah, and we know that, I know in the initial stage of the race, Jonny Walker had a big crash, didn't he? And he probably weren't aware of that, but he had to have his one of his handle grips re-glued on, a new handle grip, and he had some barbed wire around the back of it as well. So yeah, Jonny was riding very smooth, and just, you know, considering the injuries he had last year and coming back, he's getting the pace back, isn't he, Jonny?
Yeah, no, for sure. He's riding really well. Obviously, he came off a big injury last year, and I think he's been putting in training to get back where he wants to be. So I think, but also I think everyone's putting in the training, because we got WESS just, I don't know how long in May it starts for the first round. So everyone's just trying to get as strong as they can, put in as many races as they can to get ready for the first round.
And just talking about Jonathan Richardson, are we quite surprised about Jono's performance yesterday? His pace is really coming on now, considering the last couple of years he's not really done much, has he?
Yeah. Well, I remember Jono when I did Erzberg for the first time. He's a really good rider, really good at trials, and that's the first time I think I really met him. And me and him were out in the hills there in Erzberg, like nearly dying out there. It was so tough. But yeah, he is a really good rider, and he's really coming along on this year, and he's put some good results in. He won the first round of the, I remember in January, somewhere around here, and then obviously, yeah, he's doing really well this year.
So far, 2 events under your belt in the British Extreme Championship. What's your impression now of the British Extreme scene?
I'm really enjoying it. Tonga took a while to just get into riding again. Obviously, the first race of the season, a bit nervous and stuff. But after this weekend, I'm feeling way more confident on the bike. The team around me too, and everything's starting to work together. So now, I think the next round's 3 weeks time. So it's just gonna go home now and just prepare, work on a bit more on my fitness. And a few little techniques in that, and then hopefully come into the next round can put in a good result too.
Okay, thank you, Travis. Just before we go, a few special messages before we get into the action. One is for Aidan Overend. Aidan Overend got injured a couple of weeks ago at the Ball Breaker Extreme in Lancashire. Hope you get well soon, Aidan, and the leg fixes. We're thinking about you, and we'll try and call and see you at home at some point. And secondly, a message for Jack Williams from Shipton-on-Stour. Thanks for getting in touch, Jack, and giving us the support. It's really a really nice message you sent. And to everybody else who gets in touch as well, thank you for the support. I'm aware that there is a YouTube following and a Facebook following, so I'm trying to run the films dual on YouTube and Facebook. But from me and Travis, and everybody at Eurotek KTM, here's some highlights from the main event yesterday. Apologies, it's not the quite in-depth report that I would normally do because we had some technical issues with some of the equipment, but we're going to be back on the 24th of March for Eddy's Extreme Round 3 at the H2O, so we'll see you soon. Take care for now.
Thank you.
Paul, a great course layout this year.
Yeah, thanks, Robbo. Yeah, as again, me and Tom and the team and that have got our heads on, thinking caps on, and I think we've produced a good one.
Yeah. I know when I spoke to you on the phone on Friday, you said you've upped the ante a little bit for some of the guys, haven't you? And the rock sections and some of those off-cambers look quite interesting.
Yeah, we've done a new twist to the track, like we said, and thrown a lot of stuff in, and we're certainly pleased with how it's turned out. And I think, like you said, we've upped the ante, and we've got to keep doing that in the British Extreme Championship, and that's our goal, really. More so to try and challenge the morning race guys as well. So yeah, you know, we've left a lot of stuff in for them.
And the spectators as well. It looks better for those guys to get round and have a look and see what's going on.
Yeah, you know, like you said, mate, yeah, spot on. I mean, if you stand like literally right behind us now, from the start, from the Enduro cross track, you literally can see your rider or the riders the whole way, pretty much till they just go off the back, what we call the Enduro loop. So, should be a good one.
Well, thanks for talking. It should be a good day. I'll try and catch up with you after the race when you're sort of doing the prize giving. All right, thank you.
Thanks again, Robbo. Thanks for the support, mate.
Cheers.
Championship at Cowm Quarry. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us today, and I'm sure we've got a few little surprises planned for you on the track. Off the start line, you do turning left. That's all. Whether you go over the, yeah, you've got to go through the rocks anyway. The opposite way.
Seconds.
Testing, testing.
I think it's good, yeah.
Can I go?
That orange light on?
Yeah. Hi guys, Travis Teasdale here. Be like you know. Hi guys, Travis Teasdale here. Yesterday I was out at the Cowm Quarry. How do you say it? Cowm. Cowm. Hi guys, Travis Teasdale here. Yesterday was the second round of the British Extreme Championship. Be sure to check out my Instagram and Facebook page for the highlights.
Super. Yeah.
Okay.